I haven't listened to anything you've said in the last 20 seconds.
Damn it, Trevor.
Oh, God, I hate you so much.
Well, it's you. We can cross off the reading.
I watch almost everything, and the majority of it is terrible.
What is this podcast about?
My recorder keeps turning off.
Damn it, Trevor. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of No Win Scenario. How you doing, Trevor?
I'm staying silent for this intro because you told me earlier that I'm being too mean.
You were a meanie butt in one of our recordings, so I said let's do it again.
So I'm gonna just hang back and let you botch this whole opening, and
Well, the third episode, I think at some point we'll get into a nice rhythm where you're the right level of kind of snarky for our listeners. Have you told any of your friends yet about this podcast, Trevor?
I've only told one.
Oh.
I'm waiting until we get some more out there. And,
do they know they're your friend? Have you broken the news to them?
They have no idea. They have no idea whatsoever.
Well, your sourpuss face is not going to distract me. We have a great interview today with Todd Marks. Todd Marks, he is the video and playback supervisor for a whole bunch of movies and shows. We kind of got connected to him through Star Trek Picard. We've had some great interviews with Dave Blass and Liz Klowski, production designer and art directors for Star Trek. So they hooked us up with Todd, and I think we're in for an interesting conversation. He's been around for quite some time and done a lot of stuff, and I think video playback, and it's not something that a lot of people know about on TV shows and films.
Yeah, when you initially mentioned that, people might not get too excited about it. I find it to be absolutely so fantastic and so interesting. It's very, very technical, but you also there has to be an artistic element to it as well, and everything has to be done perfectly, and it is a really intricate job, and Todd is a really great guy.
But that's not what you have in your mind today, because you seem like you woke up sweating and really disturbed that Dune 2 was going to get delayed. The part 2 was going to get delayed. Are you handling that okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about it. I think it's really unfortunate, and it's created some holes in the exhibition schedule, especially the premium format and IMAX exhibition, and everybody's rushing to take advantage of it. I personally would have liked if they were going to, when they decided that they were going to push it until the spring, I thought it would have been a great idea to hold on to that IMAX booking that they had for Dune 2 and bring back the first Dune, because so few people got to see it.
The David Lynch Dune?
Get out of here.
I don't know if you know this, Trevor, but I love the David Lynch movie. For those of you not watching, well, Trevor won't let anyone see his face, but Trevor is making a face right now, I think because he agrees with me that he absolutely adores the David Lynch version of Dune that I grew up with.
David Lynch is one of the finest filmmakers.
And Dune is one of the finest films ever. You got Patrick Stewart, you got Sting.
I've met him. I'm a huge fan.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Twin Peaks is my favorite franchise. I just saw a 35mm print of Mulholland Drive a few weeks ago. I'm a very, very, very big fan. I just finished his autobiography a few months ago. Huge fan.
Get to the point.
Not a fan of his version of Dune at all. And you know what? Coincidentally enough, you know who else isn't a fan of that? David Lynch. David Lynch himself is not a fan of it.
Listen, it's not a great movie. It's one of those movies that, you watch as a kid. It could be any movie that you watch when you was a kid, you get obsessed with. I watched it like twice a week in middle school. I read the books. I loved seeing it. I think I read Dune the first time in 4th grade. I was a little too young for it, but seeing the movie had it make sense for me. It was big. It was grand. There was a vision there.
God, I want to take a nap during this. This is such garbage.
Okay, but explain this to me. You've seen the Lynch movie. You have seen the Lynch movie with me.
I just saw it in a movie theater with you 7 months ago. It was an insufferable experience. One of our local independent theaters played a 35 millimeter print of Lynch's Dune.
Shout out to the Brattle.
Oh my God. Dawn was acting like it was Citizen Kane and Orson Welles. I was sitting there. I was I took the straw out of my soda cup and I tried to gouge my eyes out during this film. It is an insufferable experience.
Well, two things here. First of all, I don't understand. I have an open mind. I like the new Dune.
You absolutely do not have an open mind.
I do not. I will be pleasantly surprised if Christopher Walken as the Emperor works out. I was mind blown that was the casting choice on that one for the Emperor. So we'll see.
I think the casting is absolutely top-notch.
They did a disservice to the character of Chani and Zendaya by how they used her in the first film. And I realized it was just teeing it up for the second part.
Everybody, I think it was a wasted I want you to understand, listeners. Dawn thinks, and please, all no offense to her, but Dawn actually thinks that Sean Young's performance in Dune, David Lynch's version, is absolutely fantastic. What he really thinks it's one of the best performances he's ever seen.
No.
Hold
Do not put words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I remember these words.
There was more
and
there.
Then you thought it was she's in it for 20 seconds, and that it's a better performance than what Zendaya does in the Villeneuve version. And that, listeners, all the listeners who are listening to this, all three of you that are listening and driving right now, you just drove off the road into a tree. This is a ridiculous conclusion. This is why I hate Dawn.
This is not true. Everything he said is a lie. I will also say
that is not a lie.
With the new Dune, granted, I did not see it in IMAX like you did. I was, I think in the middle of COVID, I saw it in a small theater.
Well, I saw it in cropped IMAX. I didn't see it in true IMAX because they were closed for the
I honestly, I really did enjoy the movie. I really did. I honestly did not feel it was as epic in scope as the original.
You're insane.
All the silliness aside, I felt like Arrakeen's felt small. The city felt small. The world felt small.
Your brain is small.
I don't think we're going to agree on this one.
No,
I will say
we haven't. We've been fighting about this for years.
I'm thrilled there's a part 2. I'm thrilled there's talk of Dune Messiah. Mm-hmm. I'm bummed that he said the other books are too, I don't know if he said esoteric. Mm-hmm. I would love someone to take on God Emperor of Dune. It's a great book. I think it'd be a wacky movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone thinks it would be a wacky movie. But I think someone should do it. I mean, there was actually a Dune miniseries on Sci-Fi years ago that was like a staged play. I mean, it looked like it was, shot on like a play. I thought it was a very interesting way of doing Dune and Children of Dune. I'd love to see God Emperor that way. But God Emperor, someone, spoiler, turns into a huge thousands-year-old worm, and it's a talking worm that rules the Empire. So I guess there are some logistic challenges with that. But I want to see it.
10 years ago, Dawn, for my birthday, bought me a Blu-ray of David Lynch's Dune. The worst birthday present I've ever received, because he knows how much I hate the film. I immediately, after he left, I ripped open the case, I took the Blu-ray out, I put it in my cat's litter box. The movie sucked so much that my cat wouldn't even go to the bathroom on it. She stopped using the litter box.
You know what, Trevor? I can't think of a better transition to our next segment.
I can't either.
I'd like to apologize to everyone, all of humanity, for Trevor.
I want to apologize for me too, actually.
We're going to work on him, ladies and gentlemen, but please feel free to send all your hate mail to Trevor once again, and all your love and adoration for me to nowin-scenario-podcast@gmail.com. That's nowin-scenario-podcast@gmail.com, and you can subscribe on everything: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spreaker.
Oh my God! You don't even
think
know
I don't
what our
know.
podcast is.
Spreaker. And wherever you love podcasts. Stay tuned next for our interview with Todd Marks from Star Trek Picard.
Hi, my name is Todd Marks. I'm a computer video playback supervisor and also a projection mapping specialist. And I've been working in the film and television industry for about 30 years now, professionally. I started shooting videos back in the early 80s and moved to LA in 88 to finish my schooling and then get into the industry, which I was able to do. So that's a little bit about me.
Are there a lot of you out there doing what you do in Hollywood?
There's like probably a good handful of top tier playback people. There's a lot of guys. There's a playback, or men and women, playback technicians, playback engineers. There's not a lot who kind of span all the different things that I do, as far as there's some that are very technical. I mix the creative aspects of overseeing the creation of the content, and mixing the newer technologies or the appropriate technologies for whatever the project is.
Most people, when they see, in a film or TV show a long list of credits, they might not necessarily see that and understand it. Yeah,
of course. And it's one of those jobs that you can't just go, oh, well, I'm the guy who does this. It used to be kind of, our description was, when you're watching a show and they're looking at a screen, or they have a handheld device, or there's a room full of monitors, I'm in charge of all of that, anything having to do with the display. So being, as somebody who's interacting with a phone, or they're on a bridge of a spaceship, any of that type of work, I'm in charge of. So from taking the script and seeing what the writer has written to describe some action, and then figuring out a way to convey that into graphics, and then bringing in the appropriate technologies, the right type of monitors or displays, to then help tell that story. So I'm a storyteller in one aspect. I'm a technologist in another aspect. And it's a mixing of a lot of different types of skills. And so, sometimes it's just wallpaper in the background that just kind of helps set a tone or a mood, or just helps make you believe that what you're seeing is a real set, or, it doesn't pull you out of what you're watching. It helps pull you in. And there are certain people who just do the technology part. They bring, they have a graphics company, provide all the graphics, and they have nothing to do with what those elements are. There's other people who are just, graphics coordinators. And then there's the people on set who are, either pushing the buttons to make the content play, either in a loop or a cued to specific action. And then I'm just, I oversee kind of all of that. For playback on the screen, one of my rules is it visually interesting, to help tell the story? Is it plausible in the world of that it's, being shown in, and logical? If somebody's interacting with it, is the logic there? It's not just a bunch of shit flying on screen.
Right.
That's, somebody's clicking through or going, oh, well, it's so-and-so and so-and-so. And you're like, how the hell do you get that from a bunch of flying shapes? I want people to be very clear that this means this and this means that. And the one thing that I always know when I'm successful is, let's get a close-up on that, and let's get push in for a tight close-up. Then I know I've been very successful, because I help tell the story rather than the character just going, oh, well, we're at 24%. I'm like, well, let's show them that, and, give them, some kind of gauge. In certain projects like Star Trek Picard, I was brought in very early, so that I got to work with the art department and the designers to help not only incorporate specific types of newer technologies and displays into the consoles they were building, or saying, this is, here's this cool curved type of OLED that we could use, or here's this transparent display technology, and here's what's involved in making it work into a console, and here's how we have to worry about the wiring, and then we have to feed the image to it, and yada 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 yada. And it's like, oh, and don't forget, give me vents so that the thing can, when the little console heats up, it doesn't overheat, and yada yada yada. Yeah, so it's there's just so many different aspects